Hello and welcome to Happy Foot, Sad Foot. I'm Travis Helwig. Wow. Another Leagues Cup fantastic moment for LAFC. Look, what a weird one to talk about. In like the 80th minute, Max Breto said, "What a bizarre game." And I said, that's the understatement of the season. One of the most bizarre games we've played. And once Ordaz got the red, I gave up on caring, and I had a lot of fun. It was a fun one, whether or not it was a pleasant one, but we certainly, in the words of Vince Rosa, that's sports, baby. Happy foot off the bat. Thomas Hasal just now in the penalty kick shootout looked fantastic. Looks like a keeper who is ready to play in this league. I don't think I ever need to see Ochoa ever again. I'm happy with Hasal. I think I feel good about Hasal. And outside of that, like, what a silly game. Sad foot. Some of the most inconsistent refereeing I've ever seen. Just like truly baffling decisions at times. Even when Tafari got kicked in the fucking head, he gave us, he let us keep the ball and keep going. Everyone saw a man get kicked in the head. I knew he had the breakaway. I was like, stop the play. He could be dying. It was a truly beautiful display from that referee. Absolutely baffling at all times. But I leave that game. I don't have a bad taste in my mouth from that game because it was sports through and through. Nothing went as predicted. We looked great in the first 20 minutes. Nathan Ordaz fucked us with a very stupid, unlike him this season foul. Like obviously not that bad a contact, but once the VAR says, come look at it, it is a red, right? It's considered violent conduct. You can't really do anything about it, even if it's not actually all that violent a conduct. He did elbow a man in the gut. And then after that, we looked sloppy for the rest of the first half. Second half. Vince is here. I didn't even see you. You ready to come on, Vince? I can't hear you.
Yeah, you can hear me now?
Yeah, how are you feeling? How was the vibe in the stadium after that after watching the beautiful game?
Weird. It is so weird. Like everything about that game was so weird. I think up front we have to say, look, bonehead, bizarre moments all around. Nathan Ordaz, top of the list. That was dumb. I know you were just saying like not like him. Remember against Miami, he might have gotten sent off. So like he needs to start to take a look in the mirror and like, you really affected your teammates. And what was worse was just before that, he got in the way of Tillman, who probably would have scored the second goal. And I kid you not, if LAFC had scored that second goal, the game was over. Like, I believe wholeheartedly that LAFC was winning this game by a lot. Like, we were going to see a Sounders-esque level because Pachuca just did not look up to it. And then when the first goal was scored, they looked like they were like, this tournament's dumb. But then the red card happens. Delgado, we have to point out, like, don't ever try to flip a ball in your own box to another player. Like, what are you doing, my guy?
Rough day all around from Delgado, I'll say.
Well, no, but then he grew into the game. Like, you're right. For the first half, he was. I was like, he can't play. There's nothing he can do right now. He's so out of it. He can't do anything. And in the second half, he was much better. And I think the rest of the you have to look at this team and go like, wow, I saw like there was moments where dudes were like crash test dummies, like they were flying around, they were into it. They weren't getting too much into the extras with the ref, like they were focused. I was actually really proud of this team in terms of like heart and just willingness to push through like an adverse situation. But man, that's a bummer because I think we would have kicked the shit out of them. Like we were going to win that game by a lot.
Yeah, it was just a moment where it just was like, welp. Like it felt like this season in a nutshell, right? Where it's like, well, we got this one. This one feels really good. And then a very dumb fucking thing happens. How are people feeling in the stadium? Because I mean, it's hard to judge from the couch. The commentators were talking about all the heart we had as a team. And And I know this is dangerous to say out loud, that commentators were talking about how great of a job Steve Cherundolo did with the man down for 70 minutes, right? We don't have to get too much into that because I don't want to get shot outside of the podcast. But how were people feeling in the stadium itself? What was the vibe like watching?
It was pretty. I will say this: like, the red card happens, people are upset, and then the mistake happens, leads to the goal, and then everyone's heads were down. Like, the rest of the first half was pretty dour, and it was like, let's just survive. And when you're talking about Steve kind of managing the game, they had Shmolikov up early, and I thought he was going to bring him in for Martinez, and I even thought he was going to bring him in at half. But he wrote it out with Martinez until he got the yellow card, and hindsight, it was probably the right call. Like, he gets through it, he guts through it. It could easily have gone really poorly for him, right? But like, I'm sitting with my buddy and we're watching the game. And we're like, what options do they really have? Like, when they bring in Amaya and Raposo, you're like, yeah, that's it. And they still get a big chance at the end. But yeah, I mean, I guess he just kind of lightly managed the game. But yeah, it was dour for the first half. But then the second half, when they started like really getting physical, LAFC in like a good way, where they were just like running around and they were very much like, it doesn't matter. We're going to win the second ball. We're going to track down the runner. If this team is going to try to win fouls and try to bully us, we're not going to take it. And the crowd really got into it. There was a moment where like Eddie Segura, I think, tackled 3 dudes on one play, which was amazing. And the crowd was into it.
Segura had a great game, I thought. I thought Segura did. Is my mic okay? People were saying that my mic sounds weird.
It was funky for a second. You're better now.
Okay. I just plugged it in a little bit. Yeah, I thought Segura played a great game. I thought Nkosi Tafari played a great game. Smolyakov is becoming a really good player for us. In the second half of this season, Smolyakov has shown up in ways that he did not in his first few games here.
I'm really glad you pointed that out. And this is something that's super nerdy. But if you are like a super soccer nerd now, like I've turned you into one, go back and watch Smolyakov in that game and just watch the way that he passes off players and then closes down players and then decides when to cut off the ball or when to stay with a runner. Those are the little things that we weren't seeing, where he seemed like he was out of his depth. But to your point, like he seems like he's a veteran. Like, he's got it physically. He's there too. Like, he's not getting bullied off the ball.
He looks stronger. He looks like he's like put on weight.
Absolutely. Looks stronger. He's acting smarter. It seems like he just kind of understands the position a little better. And you imagine that happened on the training ground. You could say what you want about Steve Cherundolo, but he was an amazing fullback. And I guarantee you that he has worked with this player, and we've seen the benefits of having a coach that was an amazing fullback, working with a young fullback that's talented, but he definitely needed some polish. He was very raw, and now he's looking more like you could have told me that was Sergi Palencia, the way he was playing.
Yeah, I agree with you, and today more than any other day, it really is obvious we need reinforcements, right? Like, There was a moment where I'm like, who are we going to sub on? And then Raposo comes on. I'm like, right, Ryan Raposo's on this team. I forgot. Like, we need bodies. And the signing from Watford, the name I'm forgetting, couldn't come soon enough. Porteous. And then Perez couldn't come soon enough. And dare I say, a very special name might be gracing our team very soon.
Well, if you're a certain player that just got a red card, you got to be wondering if you've once again, like, kind of torpedoed your own chance. Because, my guy, now is not the time. The people that are coming in, it's not the time to be making mistakes, because you're going to find yourself on the bench.
I just figured this out while you were talking. Let's see how it goes.
안녕하세요. 해피 풋세드 풋에 오신 것을 환영합니다. 제 이름은 헬윅입니다.
Well, they didn't say Travis Helwig well, but they did say Happy Foot, Sad Foot. It is. I mean, let's just get into it after talking about. I think we all agree everyone played well in that game for the most part. We were put into an insane situation. Nathan Ordaz kind of fucked us. Didn't just kind of fucked us. He fucked us. Yeah. And he had a good enough season that I'm not that pissed at him right now. Especially because the League's Cup, we were already out of it.
Yeah, he's a young player. It's a bad mistake. I would say my worry about him is more on the side of exactly what we just said. Like, if Heung-min Song is showing up and you're doing stuff like that, you're not going to find yourself on the field. You're playing yourself off the field.
Yeah.
And he's a player that has, I think, he's proved me wrong. I'll be frank. Like you guys knew, I was not high on him at all. And,
No.
and I've been very excited with a lot that he's done. I think he's still got work to do. But
I don't think was Ordaz even drafted in our gold draft. Oh, he was the last pick in our gold draft.
I think he was.
Martinez was in the first round.
Yeah.
And Ordaz is the last pick. Yeah.
Yeah, he's done a lot of things that, again, really surprised me. And the stuff that I think he needs to work on, I was like, yeah, that seems fine. But this is stuff that's absolutely avoidable. Can't have that happen.
Well, let's just talk about what people want to talk about right now, which is the news coming. Well, actually, no, we have some super chats. Let's get to the super chats first. Guys, Darren is on his way. He's waiting for the Pachuca technical staff to get out of the room. We usually record where the opposing team's technical staff does their, when you see a guy
we should go in the LAFC one because those guys are always done early and they love our show. I should tell him that from now on. That's my bad.
We can't do it without you. We have to wait. If you're there, they'll let us do it.
I will introduce you guys the next time. So that way, if I'm not here, because they do love the show.
Well, that's why we only say good things about Steve Cherundolo. If you ever see a coach on the camera with an ear pod in, he's talking to someone in the technical booth above who has cameras and a bunch of iPads, and they're monitoring the games from above. And we usually record in the room that the opposing team is in. And sometimes they get out of that room fast, and sometimes they really don't. And it seems like they really have not left the room yet.
I will say this. I judge every single coaching staff on how clean or dirty they leave that room, because there are some pigs.
There are so I don't want to name names, but the LA Galaxy left so much fucking shit in there. I had to clean up food that was left because I didn't want people to think it was us that left it. I was cleaning up food that the LA Galaxy left in that room. Typical AEG scum. All right, let's get to that. Some super chats. Vaughn Amirian, thank you so much for your super chat. As always, Redo's on Ordaz and Tillman looked like a 110 fender bender. Yeah, man.
Slammed into him.
Disaster of a moment. Clearly would have gotten a goal there.
It was such a pretty play too. I think Hollingshead had megged a player, then threaded the ball nicely into Bouanga, who slid it across, and then Tillman. The touch was a little too far in front of him, but he was still getting there. And then Ordaz was like, "Oh wait, let me," and then explosion.
It was. You know how when you're walking
down,
he
meant to elbow Tillman?
He thought that's who was behind.
Yeah, he's like, "Fuck this guy."
He had Friday plans. He was trying to get out of there. It was like that thing in a hallway where two people are trying to go one way or different ways, and they both go the same way. That was again, just another stupid fucking moment that ruined a game that was very winnable for us. Vaughn, thank you so much for your super chat. And remember, if you need a personal injury attorney, 1-866 are we bet?
You decide.
You decide if we're back or bad. Both will go to the number. Edgar, thank you so much for the super chat. Dropping any hashtag tug jobs on the stream. I don't have any tug jobs. That's what people have decided the Woj bombs are that I've done in the Discord, are tug jobs. And I'll say that I don't have any tug jobs, but the last thing, because my nickname is Tug in the Discord. The last thing I heard, I'm going to mute you for a second, Vince, because there's children screaming. The last thing that I had heard from my DP Deep Throat was that Tottenham and LAFC have agreed generally to the idea, and it's up to Son whether or not he wants to leave Tottenham. We have heard today from Son himself in a press conference that his game, I believe tomorrow or the third, one of those days, is in Korea, will be his final game with Tottenham. What a nice way to be sent off, almost as if he's known that for a while, and it's something that they've been planning. And I don't think any announcements will be made until after that game, but all signs point to LAFC is in serious advanced negotiations. Tom Bogert said very close. Fabrizio said we could see Son for playing for LAFC very soon. Nothing is closed, nothing is signed, but there are currently no other clubs that have been named outside of Saudi, which he's rejected according to these reports as well. So unless something goes disastrously bad, and it can happen, unless something goes disastrously bad, we're going to have a massive signing, potentially winning Vince his bet it or forget it, as long as it happens before Tuesday. Vince, anything else you want to add? Any tug jobs you've heard?
I have not heard anything else, although I will say that I believe Darren is still on his bet as well. Because Darren,
we all still can get
the
our
bets are alive.
Yeah,
all the bets are alive.
Darren, how you doing? How'd you feel in the stadium today?
Real weird, just as weird as everybody else. What the hell was that? I have no idea. That I don't know what I just watched. That was mind blowing.
We were talking very much about like it's a game that was Max called it bizarre on the commentary, and it's like, what can you say? Like just a deeply bizarre game from the 20th minute on. We were in control. We were in control for the second half too, even when we didn't have a man down. It's funny that they went a man down and suddenly, or they leveled it at 10 and suddenly we looked like we had a man up. That's the second time this season, actually, we've looked really good with 10 men on the field. And it makes you wonder, maybe we just need a little space.
Or just a reason to play with urgency.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Like, I don't know. It's so hard to feel this frustrated, and also like they played really well. I thought, like they held their own when they were down a man for a long time. Scored an early goal. Like there was so much that I was excited about, and also so much I was so frustrated by. Like every version of LAFC showed up in one game, and every version of like I don't know if I've experienced this much both good and bad luck in one game as a fan before either.
Yeah. What
truly wild one.
Did you find how were fans in the stadium reacting to the chaos of the game? Was it a positive energy, negative energy? Like what did it feel like?
It was lively in the stadium. I would say definitely compared to how many people there were in the stadium. It wasn't empty. But I've never heard this like there. You know how someone like yells out from the stands at the ref? That happens every now and again. I have never heard it this much at a game. Like it was both sides. It was the most yelling at the ref from the stands that I have experienced at BMO.
Yeah, Vince, I talked about it a little bit before I brought you on. The ref was just all over the place during this match. How did you feel about the officiating? Was it consistent in your mind?
I mean, consistently bad. Have you ever played a game where like you've had a referee where like he looks like he's there, but he's like listening to something, or like there's like a music in his head or something? Like the man was playing to the beat of his own drum.
I was like, he might be drunk. I honestly
kind
of out of it.
On drugs at some point. Like the decisions he was making made zero sense. The timing of his decisions made zero sense. There were a few times where there were like very obvious flops on like a tap on a guy, and he would like bolt over to give a card or a penalty, a foul, and it's like, how are you so fooled by that? And then at the same time, he'll turn around and just not blow the whistle at all on like an obvious foul. Like it was just Delgado, like, no reason to it.
The Delgado yellow, which could have been a red, like genuinely could have been a red. I think that was, we almost went down to, Jesus. We could have gone down 2 men. But that was bizarre because he said play on. And then without talking to VR seconds later, like I want to say like 7 seconds later, decided, no, I'm going to blow my whistle, turned around, gave a yellow immediately. And it wasn't, that wasn't a conversation with VAR. He indicated play on, waited a period of time, and then changed it. Like it just, something was off about him. Maybe they should do a surprise drug test on him the way that they do on players.
I mean, you wouldn't be the first referee that's had some problems.
I'm used to being mad at refs and like disagreeing with them or feeling like there's a bias. I can't say it was a bias. Like it wasn't like, not that it's ever really true, but it's like, oh, he wants the other team to win or he has a bet or something like that. It wasn't that. It was just like, it seemed like he was not watching the same game.
You know it's bad when the Apple TV commentators are forced to talk about how bizarre the refereeing is. Like it was normally like there's moments where I'm at a game and I'm like, that ref sucked, right? And people watching at home don't feel that way because you're in the intensity of the stadium. everyone watching that game agreed it was a bizarrely reffed match. We have a bunch of other super chats. Let's get to. Thank you so much to Vaughn and Edgar for those. I'm going to mute you again, Vince, just while we're doing. Can you unmute yourself if I mute you or no? There we go. Because that way you're in control of it. If I do it, you're not in control of it. Adam, thank you so much for the super chat. Happy Foot. At least we know who to bring on in the playoffs if we go to pens. Also, Son. Yeah, I mean, much better penalties. And you notice Timothy Tillman didn't take one this time.
I didn't notice that, actually. That's really funny.
I literally
he wasn't on the field.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Subbed off the field. Give him a break.
That makes sense.
I'll say, I mean, I think Adam's talking about Hasal here. And yeah, if we're going to go to penalties, it's the type of thing where, like, we remember before Crépeau got injured, there was word of like, oh, maybe we take out Crépeau to bring in McCarthy if this goes to pens.
That was a real thing. That was happening. Like that was
it was about to happen. That was the plan.
Not about to happen, but that was in fact the plan. And I'd actually been told that before the game that they very much knew that John was a very good penalty stopper, and if it came down to it, they were ready to bring John in. And I imagine they had told Max that too, which makes it you feel a little bit, because there could be a moment where that's really awkward. But that was absolutely the plan.
Well, I mean, we know Hugo is famously not great at PKs. I think it's hard to take off Hugo, but we definitely don't want Ochoa in there going the same way 8 times in a row.
The difference between, it's crazy. We've had 2 PK matches in a row now, 2 different non-starting keepers.
Honestly, get Hugo back. Let's see him in PKs. I want to see all 3 in PKs. Let's see what it's like.
Yeah, that'd be fun. Do you, Travis and Vince, do you think there was more of a gulf between this keeper performance from Hasal and Ochoa's performance, or from this keeper performance from Hasal and Hasal's last performance?
That's a very specific question. I don't remember enough about Hasal's last performance besides that I was upset with him. But Hasal, I thought, had played a great game.
There were a lot of people who...
I'm going to say Hasal because of just the confidence level. Like, he had a confidence that he
did not seem like the same human being tonight.
He's a totally different player. And not just in the saves. He did have some actually good saves that he had to make. But there were some moments where with his feet, he was actually a little calmer, and it helped keep the ball moving and did some nice things. So, yes, I'm going to give it to him. And I'm going to say, I don't think Ochoa is the number 2 anymore.
That's wild, because I remember his last performance, people were like, I don't mind if I never see this guy again.
Yeah, I think I said that.
You weren't the only one.
Well, also Hasal, like, physically, he has an insane wingspan that you can really see in the PKs. Like, I didn't notice it until he's outstretching and waving his arms or whatever. And just like he came across very likable in the PKs as well, actually. Like, I was like,
that he was telling him where to go and he actually listened to him, and that's the difference.
Actually, the 4th taker, Denis told him to go the opposite, or told him to go one direction, and he did, and it was wrong. So there you go. Maybe don't listen to Denis then.
Well, we at least we have a blind study of whether Denis can figure this out or not. Thank you so much for the super chat, Adam.
Denis was picking it before the guy even got near the ball. So I was like, how would he know? He's just like, he's going that way. And I was like, guy, let him at least put the ball down. Do you even know what footed he is?
Thank you, Adam. Vaughn, thanks so much again for the super chat. Great game from our guys to keep that game level for so long after being down a man. Yeah, we talked about it a little bit. Like, that was a game that we very easily could throw away. And 70 minutes down a man, or I guess 60 minutes down a man, because we tied up the count in the 80th. But like, it really, the first half, they really seemed like they were trying to just get through it. And there was a brief period of time where they were playing with no forwards. It was like 4 people across the midfield and 5 in the back. And we looked at our weakest then. And then in the second half, when they figured out what they were going to do and actually had a game plan, we looked great. Like, the second half, the 35 minutes of the second half we played with a man down, we looked, I think, like the better team on the field with the man down. And you can't say anything about that besides the coaching staff did a good job and the players lived up to the moment, right? Like you're playing for nothing essentially. Then we all know we're not going to get anywhere in this tournament. So it's an impressive feat from a team that we've said often doesn't seem like they show up, and they really showed up in this moment. We have to give them credit where credit's due. Thank you so much for the super chat. Jeff Talk, of course, gives a super chat where this is the first time actually I feel like Jeff Talk had something decent to say. Thank you so much. $1.99. Nothing from Jeff Talk, which is what I like to hear. Thank you so much, Jeff Talk. William Lamb, thank you so much for the super chat. Vast improvement in PKs in the last match, and also the chances for bringing in Heung-min Son to LAFC closer to the edge. We're being edged. We're being edged by Bogert and Fabriziano. I don't think we could be edged any closer, right? I think we're beyond Griezmann territory now, right? We're beyond Aubameyang or whatever his fucking name is, right? Like we are beyond these signings that we thought were on their way. This is as close to a confirmed thing as we've gotten. These things don't normally get reported on for this long where we're getting this level of detail. And I hate it. I just want to know yes or no. And right now I would put it 80 to 90% close to yes, based on what's going on.
It's playing out exactly the way that Vince outlined in our pregame show. And it does seem like that's what's happening, is like, we just have to like give them time to tell the story.
Yes. They want to be in control of it.
We've read this story before. Can we just like, please? Yeah.
I mean, I don't think any of us said this out loud, but it's so obvious that it would be a great last game for him to play in South Korea. I don't know why we didn't think about the narrative around that, or maybe we did and we just didn't say it. But like,
I think that's what he was saying.
Well, we talked about like how nice it would be for that tour, but I didn't think he would announce it before the last game.
Yeah, I didn't think he was going to say.
It seemed like it would be at the end.
But I think somebody might have gotten in his ear and said, if you're going to leave anyways, what better way to do it with everyone knowing you're going, so that we can sub you off in the 89th minute.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Everyone will stand on their feet. The whole team will clap you. You'll hug everybody. Like, it just, these little moments, as much as they can be somewhat orchestrated and seem silly, like to these people, mean the world, and it will mean a lot to him to be able to do this, especially in his home country. I can't imagine that somebody high up in the club didn't say like, hey, if you're thinking about it, maybe we just do it now and we get it done with.
And yeah, you get your ovation that you want. And also like Thomas Frank, or I want to call him Frank Thomas every time I see his name. Frank Thomas. Frank Thomas said Son's going to start and be the captain, right? And that he did not start in the other preseason game. He's going to play. Let's like pray for no injuries, but he's going to play some good minutes. And it like, I'm happy that he's getting that last moment. So it's good for Frank Thomas to give that to him. Thank you so much for your super chat.
Frank Thomas.
A tank also. Yeah.
Thank you so much for your super chat, Luis Chaim Perez, $4.99. Keep up the great work, Hafo Safo, from the guy who fist pumped Vince.
Oh,
Vince, did you get a fist bump?
I did. Probably about 15 minutes ago. What's up?
That was a $5 fist pump. Oh. And thank you for telling us to keep up the great work. It's always nice to hear those compliments. Thank you so much. Vince, did you like him or was he a bad guy?
No, he's great.
Okay, good. Just double checking.
Super like knew I was doing the thing, but just like super like low pro fist bump. Like,
oh hell yeah!
Smooth, like very cool and just like it was like
that's Hollywood.
Yeah, it was like and I was like, oh, I know, and then he rode off into the sunset.
Well, thank you so much for your super chat. LAFC is life. Thank you for the super chat. Sadfoot, Bouanga's last attempt not going in. Yeah, I mean, let's talk about that. Beautiful build-up, so close. Abobasi wide open, but he does earn the right to take that. But a little bit reminiscent of Vela wide open against Miami a few years ago. I don't know what you guys think.
So I agree. He earns the right to do that. And he put in so much work. I think at that point he was just physically exhausted, and he was like, "I'm just gonna kick the fuck out of this ball, and hopefully it goes in." But the right move was either to pass the ball or, honestly, roll the ball on the ground into the corner, because that keeper was in no man's land. He had no clue what was happening there. But yeah, the sheer amount of energy he put into that last chance, and
it was crazy that he beat that out.
If you've ever played soccer and tried to dribble more than like 2 people and thought about how tired you are, well, he was doing that at high speed against like top level players, and there was 3 players that are pulling on him and everything. I got tired watching him do that.
Halfway through the run, I was like, oh my God, that defender's so fast. He's going to catch up to him, and he still beat him.
Yep.
He pulled it back right at the right time.
Yeah, they ran
and then ran around the guy.
Yeah, they ran 40 yards stride for stride, and then he still had to get back to the area to be able to take that shot.
Yeah, that was wild. I thought, I don't know what to make of these games with Bouanga, where it really feels like he puts in a really good game, except for that last touch. He doesn't have the goal to show for it, but like he beat out a lot of balls, created a lot of chances, and was like on the whole time. And I don't know what my conclusion is there. Like
you want you want him to finish that right, but you want to say that like the best players in the world likely score more goals because they get so many chances.
Because they do
like
that. And he had a goal.
He
still had a goal tonight.
Yeah, we kind of forget about the chances that they like. If he's a guy that's scoring a lot of goals but is only getting 2 shots a game, that's not an elite player. An elite guy is a 4 to 5 shot creator, and that's what Bouanga is. And so he's clearly not gonna score 5 goals a game, right? But
right.
You remember these moments when they're so like it's such a pivotal moment. But at the end of the day, you want a guy that just gets so many chances, and he's gonna miss some, but a guy of Bouanga's level is going to make more than he misses in terms of like league average, right? And that's what makes him, a top player.
Thank you so much for the super chat. Daniel, thank you for this one. $2 in Chicago. I hope we played well. This is my dream super chat. We've said for a long time, it would be fun to have a post game where none of us have watched and we just talk about, and like we just become Twitch streamers at that point.
Yeah, I mean, I thought Nathan Ordaz was great.
Nathan Ordaz, man of the match. And I do want to say, shout out. I'm really fed up with Steve. I'm fed up with Steve Cherundolo for telling Nathan Ordaz to elbow that man. It's time for Steve Cherundolo to go. I think
that was that's a bad game plan.
Typical Dolo ball telling Nathan Ordaz.
To physically
Daniel, of course, is doing advanced scouting for us in Chicago. Thank you, Daniel.
Thank you, Daniel.
Really
Daniel,
another one. Work.
Do you think Sun will be impressed by our Korean food options in the stadium? Absolutely not. Thank you for the super chat. In Koreatown? Yeah. I think we have the best Korean food in America, and I've eaten Korean food in a lot of cities. I mean, I obviously don't have the palate of a Korean person, but I love Korean food, and the food here is far and away better than the Korean food in any other city I've been to.
Well, I think what the level is, because you have a lot of places that are like different nationalities, right? But the nationality doesn't eat there. If you go to Koreatown, there are Koreans eating there. Yeah. So you know that they're like, okay, this is of a level. But you can go to like, I don't know, you would go to like some Indian food places and then talk to your friend that's like from India. They'd be like, I would never eat there if my life depended on it. So I think that's a pretty good test of the level of our Korean food.
Quick follow-up question. Not that it matters, but how impressed do you think he'll be with the soccer?
TBD.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's see what other sightings.
Food, though.
Yeah,
pretty good.
But honestly, like, obviously, Sun coming doesn't solve all of our problems, but having Sun and Bouanga on the field at the same time solves a good amount of our goal scoring problems, because they cannot double and triple team Bouanga the way they were doing. And Bouanga is going to feel much more comfortable passing the ball. Well, maybe not, honestly.
There were like 3 that I can remember, maybe more, great crosses to who would have been there if it was 11 guys in the field. But imagine the 11th guy is Sun. So that would have been great.
That would be great. I would love that. Thank you so much, Daniel. And now Daniel with a third one in a row from Chicago. Thank you so much, Daniel. Sun equals Big Ange. Isn't that? I don't fully know what it means, but wasn't that rumor killed that he's going to be our coach?
Yeah, I don't think that's happening. I think that was just people connecting the dots, and then maybe he did reach out but I think he very much wants to stay in Europe. I think the guy was just exploring all of his options. Remember the rumor made it seem like it was done, and I don't think it was ever even that close.
You know, it's interesting that it almost could be the reverse, and we just didn't have all the information where
That's possible.
the Sun conversation was already happening, right? Because that leaked out in the Korean press a month and a half ago. We thought it was because they were connecting this coaching rumor, but it could possibly be saying, oh, there's this handshake quiet agreement between the club and Sun. Is LAFC kicking the tires to see if this coach wants to come and join Hugo and Sun? And he said no, but that got out there. It's possible we just got the order wrong because that's how it leaked out. But I don't think he's going to be our coach next season. Thank you so much for all those super chats, Daniel. Heidi, thank you so much. Hasal deserved man of the match. Redemption night. Yeah, we talked about that a little bit already.
Did you not get it?
I don't know. Well, I don't know who gets man of the match.
Oh, maybe she's saying it's well deserved if you did get it.
Got man of the match.
Okay.
Okay.
He needed the ego boost after losing the game for us last time.
Well, it seems like he's starting to get, addicted again. His old problems are coming back to haunt him with the goal addiction.
It's always sad when someone falls off the wagon, but I'm okay with it at the moment.
Yeah, I hope he doesn't get help this time.
His PK to start the penalty shootout was insanely hard. I don't think I've ever seen him.
He was like, "I'm not leaving this up to any question." Although I want to say it was like the third PK from Pachuca. I'm not sure who it was. What Hasal guessed right, and it was like maybe the hardest goal I've ever seen shot in my entire life. Like it was like a laser, and blew Bouanga's out of the water.
Not to say that I am a professional by any standards, but I always liked PKs as a goalie because it's the only time where you can win a game, right? And there's really no downside. No one's expecting you to make it, which is sort of the opposite of a game. So it's a very fun situation. And so the thing that I never wanted to tell people is that if you just kick it really hard, the goalie can't do anything. As long as you have it on frame and it's as hard as you can kick it, you really can't stop it because it can just go through the gloves if it's hard enough.
Yeah, but the harder you kick it, the less control you have. And then you get in your head halfway to the ball and you sail it over the goal.
Let's say you kick it and it's just off center in the air, like here. If I'm already diving in this direction, it's really hard for me to stop it with one arm just up like this if you kick it really hard. Like I had much a harder time with hard balls than I did with corners. And I say that as a professional goalie. Thank you so much for the super chat. Gerardo Rios, are we back? Are we back, guys? After that draw?
I don't know what the fuck we are. I haven't for some time.
Are we in purgatory?
I think we are. I think this whole season is that.
Sun just changes the vibe, right? Like getting Sun, the biggest non-Vela signing in club history. We'll see how he plays, but arguably the best player we've ever had on the team.
I think one convincing performance from him and a win is when I'll feel safe saying we're back.
Yeah. Even if we don't win the cup this season, knowing we have him locked into a contract on multiple years.
Yeah, we can be back with it and know that not much is going to come of it.
Right. I will say I'm very thankful that I don't have to worry about the game on Tuesday. Like I know there's still a chance we can get through, but it's like we know we're most likely not going to get through. Like let's just enjoy the game, try to beat Tigres, but I don't have to feel nervous about that game in a way that I normally would against Tigres, and I'm happy about that.
We have had some insane matches. The few matches we've had against Tigres have been wild. So I would love to beat them. But I get what you're saying. Like the stakes are not what they could be, but of all the teams that I do feel any sort of connection to actually emotionally wanting to see them beat, especially in Liga MX, it's probably Tigres.
Yeah. I want to have this conversation that Scott just said. I said that Sun is the most talented signing in LAFC history. He said Gareth Bale. Now, Gareth Bale, I sort of mean it, the quality that he's bringing to the team at the moment, right? And Bale was already injured and pretty beat up by the time he got here. I think if we're going to talk about talent at the time of signing, it's between Sun and Vela, right? Like those are the two players closest to their prime for us. I mean, maybe we would have thought Giroud, and then Giroud fucking shit the bed. But like Bale, maybe all time is more talented. But when he came to this team, he was not.
Also, if you're going all time, you can't dismiss
Chiellini,
Giorgio.
baby.
Yeah. I mean, generational defender. I always thought that that's where you were going with that, Travis, was that. So Scott's not wrong. I think that there's a definitely conversation if we all took these guys at their peak. But in terms of where they are right now, yes, it's between Son and Vela. I think it's closer than people think. Vela, like, Carlos came in with this rap of like he didn't care about soccer, but like in Spain, there were years when it was Messi, Ronaldo, and Carlos Vela as the best players in Spain. That's fucking insane.
Yeah, but he just likes watching the Clippers, and I'm happy for him.
He was better than Griezmann on his team.
Yeah,
come on.
We don't say that name. That's he who must not be named.
Sorry, my bad. I knew better.
All right. Thank you so much for the super chat. And again from Gerardo, does Abobasi score that one? Let's be real. LOL. Yeah, great point. What has he done to prove he would score that goal?
There was a moment in the game tonight where I forget who it was. Maybe Palencia put a lot of work in to like win a ball back and get the ball out from a sort of scuffle. And Abobasi was right there, and he kind of just watched it and like didn't move at all. And that was, I think, the peak of how mad I was at him tonight. I was like, what? You had a chance to like do something that like so clearly would show that like you're putting the effort in and making a difference in a moment that was like 50-50. And he just kind of like was on his heels and was just like, let's see how this plays out. And it's like, you're the guy who's supposed to take it right now. And it was just him in the goal. Yeah, it started to get more and more frustrating to see him play. I don't know. Like I think he's eclipsed Yeboah for me in that category.
Interesting, because I mean, Abobasi had flashes at the beginning of the season. He had flashes.
I have higher hopes, and Yeboah
he's also literally done some things. He has scored goals. You don't remember he won the first game of the season.
Yeah, he was good initially. Yeah, which is why I have the higher hopes. And Yeboah, I think, has gone from like doing like egregious things to kind of just flying under the radar and not playing well enough, but still not like being like, what are you doing? Okay. And he's not in like pivotal moments in the game. Like I don't know. Abobasi says that we actually need Abobasi to convert. And
I would put Abobasi.
Like, he's putting Yeboah in like when there's like 2 minutes left, and maybe he doesn't see the ball.
This is a fun game. We should just do a player power rank. Not today, because like
that's a great game.
I'm ready to go, but let's do a player power ranking where we literally just stack them all up, regardless of position and regardless of how much they play.
Yeah.
And just do the whole roster.
Oh, that's a great idea. And
well, like who has the ability to make you happiest and saddest?
Who Abobasi is reminding me of at the moment is Stipe Buke, where it's like we need him to do more than he's able to do, and every once in a while he does something that makes it like, oh right. But for the most part, you're like, come fucking on, man. Come on. Like yeah. So the new Stipe Buke is an Abobasi puke. Okay, let's get through these super chats so Vince can get out of here. Todd Simmons, $4.99. Thank you so much for the super chat. The Korean baked potato is top tier. Got it last 3 games. Where's the Korean baked potato? I only thought we had a Korean chicken sandwich. Where is that sold? I want to eat that.
Oh, I got to give a shout out to Scarf. JR in the press box recommended Hatch. And I was like, there's not much good food these days, and it was good.
Is that the rotisserie chicken?
No, it's like hot chicken.
Oh, interesting. It took over for Wolfie's.
Yep. It was good.
I can't eat hot chicken or else I'll have diarrhea in the stadium. Thank you so much for your super chat.
It did have comeback sauce on it, and I found out why it's called that.
Okay, we're going to leave it there. Adam, thank you so much for your super chat. San Diego and Houston are eliminated. Our 2 biggest rivals are out of the biggest tournament of the year, the Leagues Cup. I mean, for all intents and purposes, we're also eliminated, Adam. I don't know what to tell you.
Are we mathematically out?
No, we're not mathematically out.
What would need to happen?
We could be mathematically out by the end of the next couple of days, though. If a couple of MLS teams win, we can be fucked. But because we have 3 points, we're not totally out yet. But it would statistically very unlikely that we would get through with 6 points, which is what we would need to get through with. It's at For the Tater in the southeast corner. Okay, that's great to know. I love a baked potato. All right, any other happy feed or sad feed before we call this one of the most bizarre games we've all watched as a podcast? I want to leave us with this. That's sports, baby. I love you. Bye.
I love you. Bye.